Anthropogenic effects on the health of ecosystems in the Caribbean. In this presentation and conversation, we will be presenting some of the ways that we as people have directly affected the Caribbean Sea and its people. If you didn't know, well, you'll know now. The oceans cover 71% of our planet and are home to the most important species, such as ourselves, and ecosystems that we rely on for food, water, and how we go on about our daily lives. One way that we've genuinely impacted the Caribbean is that we've caused them to have health-related impacts due to pollution, such as viruses literally born of mosquitoes breeding in the litter.
The Caribbean Sea contains the second largest reef in the world off the coast of Belize. This reef contains 65 species of hard coral and supports over 600 fish species. A healthy coral reef is a beautiful sight to see, bringing people from all over the world to the Caribbean islands, making the Caribbean the most tourism-dependent region in the world. However, in 2005, the Caribbean Sea went through a bleaching event and lost about half its coral. Coral bleaching is a process where corals expel the symbiotic algae living in their tissues as a stress response to change in the environment, resulting in the coral turning white. These tiny algae produce about 90% of the food that corals need to grow. Coral reefs provide complex habitats, food and shelter for countless species, but also provide wave protection for coastal communities. Removing coral reefs is detrimental to the environment, but also the livelihoods of many Caribbean locals. Another impact to the tourism industry is plastic pollution. 320,000 tonnes of plastic waste remains uncollected each year in the Caribbean. Thousands of plastic shards are currently floating in the Caribbean waters. Nearly 80% of the total litter is plastic. Caribbean Sea contains 200,000 pieces of plastic per square kilometre. If nothing is done, it is predicted that by 2050 there will be 850 million tonnes of plastic in the Earth's oceans. We will now look deeper into the Caribbean and how it's being affected.
Red Frog Beach is located on Bastimentos Island in Panama. It is known as Red Frog Beach due to it being the only place on Earth home to a small species of poison dart frog. The red frog's specific name is Oophaga pomelio, and the name Oophaga is Greek for egg eater, referring to the tadpole's diet. The species, Oophaga pomelio, can be found in other areas. However, the specific subspecies of the frog can only be found around the Red Frog Beach. Unfortunately, due to tourism, plastic packaging and bottles have arrived on the previously primitive island. This has resulted in tourists, local restaurants and even villagers throwing their plastic waste into the jungle or into the ocean, where it washes up back on shore. The plastics then ends up in the habitats of the frogs and also affects other wildlife. Frogs in general are good indicator species. An indicator species is a species thought to be sensitive to and therefore serve as an early warning indicator of any environmental changes. And the gradual disappearance of the frogs on the island shows that there are anthropogenic threats towards the island and the health of its unique wildlife. The damage also doesn't stop at the frogs. It also affects other wildlife like sea turtles. Due to some plastic's close resemblance to the turtle's diet, jellyfish, many turtles consume the plastic waste, which can be detrimental to their health. Also, 4 of the world's 7 species of sea turtles use Red Frog Beach as a nesting site to lay their eggs. However, due to increased human activity on the beach, the turtles are also being affected. Unfortunately, Red Frog Beach is only one of many examples of human activity affecting wildlife in the Caribbean.
Now, how have we impacted our own holiday destinations? If you like holidaying in the Caribbean islands, soon we won't be able to go on our favourite holidays if we keep on going on holiday and not respecting recycling and leaving rubbish on beaches, not using recycling, which is such an important thing, and not giving awareness or attention to problems going on in the sea. As regular students and working people, here are things we can do to improve the situation. reducing our usage of single-use plastics, reuse your water bottles, reuse your plastic bags. Reuse is so important. And I know it's boring, but reducing your carbon footprint helps. And I know you've heard that before. Cycle more, walk more, don't take cars everywhere, use public transportation. And another thing, vote on ocean issues. Whether you care or not, you will indirectly help the cause. You will help everyone. Even if you don't care, a vote is still important. And another thing would be raising awareness and tell other people. It's so important that you raise the awareness and get everybody to know the current issues. Otherwise, soon we won't have a planet to enjoy. We are the future of this world, and we are the ones in charge of change. We can do something about this. Thank you for being present and listening and having this conversation with us.